Hey guys, got a new Chiappa Rhino a couple days ago. I thought I'd put a quick review together on it. It's one of the newer variations with the longer barrel, and it has the new, what Chiappa calls white rhino finish, which is sort of a faux stainless steel. And it's a variation I've been waiting for a long time, since I got my first one last October. There were pictures at the time floating around of these longer barreled ones with this sort of, looked like stainless steel or maybe like a polished chrome or something like that. But whatever it was, it looked really cool. And I finally saw one of these come up on Gunbroker last week, and as far as I know, it was the first one that's been for sale on Gunbroker. So snatched it up as soon as I could, and I just got it a few days ago, and finally took it out to the range today. So thought I'd do my sort of review on it. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one because a lot of what I have to say has already been said in the 2-inch review that I did. So just check the sidebar and check out that review if you want to get a little bit more of the specifics on it. But anyway, getting started. Excuse me. This is the 40DS model. The 40 stands for 4-inch barrel length, and as you can see, and as I mentioned, it's the white rhino finish, which is really new, and I think it's really cool. A lot of people think it's a stainless steel. In fact, the auction itself listed it as stainless steel, but the frame is actually made out of an aluminum alloy, and from what I've read, this is actually a hard chrome on aluminum. But to me, in person, it looks a little bit more like nickel. It's sort of warmer and satiny looking. Whatever it is, though, it looks really nice in person, I think, and it really fits the gun well. In fact, I'm going to be getting a 5-inch at some point too, and in my opinion, whatever this is, the white rhino finish is definitely the way to go on these. The black looks okay on the 2-inch, and it did when I first got it, but just in comparison to this finish, I just think the black looks a little bit cheaper. I do have the black one here, actually. Let's see if you want to look at it and compare a little bit, but especially on the longer ones, I just think that the stainless look is the way to go. It just looks nicer. It fits the look of the gun. So really like the finish a lot. And yeah, so as far as size, you got a little bit of a look at the size there. It's bigger than the 2-inch, but still a decent size. I mentioned in my update on the 2-inch that I put those wood grips on there, and I was afraid that they were a little bit small. I like the black rubber grips on the 2-inch a little bit better. They filled my hand a little more. Fortunately, these come with the wood grip standard, but the grips are bigger, so they fill out my hand a little better, and it keeps that really nice grip feel that I loved in the Rhino to begin with. So I really like that about it. Sits low in the hand. You know, it's all this stuff that if you watch my 2-inch review, you can see more about that. Don't really need to go into the controls either, I don't think. You know, the cylinder release is here. Cocking levers here, and remember the hammer is all in here, so this is actually just a cocking lever, it's not the hammer. The longer barreled ones do come with adjustable sights. Let me make sure this is in focus. The sights are adjustable. On the 2-inch they weren't, but on these longer ones they're more intended for target shooting and that sort of thing, so they do have adjustable sights. Mine from the factory was shooting pretty low, a little bit to the right, so I had to tweak it a little bit. Let's see if you can see the sight picture. Sight picture is not as combat oriented as the 2-inch version, which has this bright orange front sight, and it's just a little faster to pick up, I think. But these adjustable sights aren't bad either once you get them tuned in and everything. So yeah, it feels good in the hand. Trigger still feels good. Really don't have a whole lot to say about it. That I haven't already said in my 2-inch review. You'll notice that there are rails on these longer versions. The 5-inch has an under lug rail, and then the 6-inch variation has one on top too. So I'm not a huge fan of that look, so I'm not sure if I'll be picking up a 6-inch, but and I'm not really sure what you'd put on the rail to begin with. So I think they just did that just to balance out the looks and put something there so it didn't look too plain. But whatever it is, you got a rail there. Pop this open, you can see the cylinder. So yeah, like I said, this, you know, most of what I have to say as far as a review of the gun, just check out my 2-inch review. A lot of that applies to this, so just wanted to show this off a little bit. Now I do have to get into one thing though, and that is that this gun is broken right now. Within a few hours of getting it, I was dry firing it. I don't know what exactly happened, but something broke in there, and right now the double action pull is like nothing. I mean, I can pull it and you can see the cocking indicator thing is popping up like it's cocking and everything. But after taking the grips off, there's a little viewing port sort of thing right there. And I can see what's happening is that the hammer isn't getting cocked all the way. It's sort of getting half, like not even half cocked, quarter cocked or something, and then slipping forward and slipping off the sear or something. So double action is not going to discharge around, and I took it to the range today and it didn't do anything. Single action is still working right now, but it's really hard to cock. But once it is cocked, then it'll fire. Which, speaking of the firing thing, the one thing I noticed right out of the box when I was dry firing it, the trigger was not as good as the 2-inch. I don't know what the deal with that is. I'm hoping that it's related to the broken double action, and that maybe it was just a bad trigger to begin with or something. But the double action, it just felt a little squishier, and single action also, I'll even show you since it's still working. It's got just more take up. See, it goes back. It's hard to do. Well, now it's just, no, the cylinder's not in line. Let's see if I can capture this travel. See, it just goes back like maybe 1/8 of an inch before it actually releases the hammer. Whereas the single action on the 2-inch, which is now cocked, it's just really crisp. Let's see, it's kind of hard to see. There we go. It's just, you know, people talk about glass rod. It's like a glass rod breaking. It's pretty much like that. It's just really crisp. Feels really good. Double action, it feels more solid. It's just like there's actually stuff there. And with the longer barreled one, I don't know if they're all going to be like this or what the deal is, but right out of the box, the double action didn't feel as good. Single action was a little squishier. It had a little bit more take up. So I am actually sending this gun in to get the stage 2 trigger kit, which is available. I'm going to be a guinea pig on that and see how that turns out. And I was planning to do that to begin with, and then the trigger broke, or the whole mechanism broke or whatever's going on with it. But yeah, so I'll put up an update video on what I think of Chiappa's customer service, what I think of the stage 2 trigger kit. So far, I don't really know what to think. I sent in the warranty repair request thing, and they got back, and they expect me to pay for shipping to get the gun up there, which I think is a little bit silly, because I mean, it's not, unless you're an FFL, it's pretty expensive to ship a gun legally. And I don't know, I haven't dealt a lot with customer service in the gun industry before. I have a Walter PPS, and had to send that into Smith & Wesson to get something fixed. And you know, I called in, and within a day or two or something, they'd sent me a shipping label or an empty box. I don't know, it was a long time ago, but to expect me to pay for shipping to get the gun up there when I've only had it at that point for a total of like 8 hours, and it was already broken. I'm not sure what I think about that. Maybe they'll refund me or something. But so yeah, I'm going to be out at least, you know, $40 or $50 just getting it shipped up there. But I was going to get the trigger kit installed anyway, so I guess I can't complain too much. So, but yeah, I'll come back with a report on how the trigger kit feels and what I think of their service. So yeah, that's the 40DS right here. I mean, I shot the gun. It shoots well. I got the sights tuned so that they were accurate and on target. But I don't know what to think about the mechanism being broken already. And maybe it's just a bad one. It is the newer finish. It's one of the earlier ones in this variation. So I don't know what to think about that. But just subscribe to my channel, and I will keep you posted on what happens with it. And I'll make another video once I get it back. I'm going to send it off next week probably. And once I get it back with the new trigger installed, I'll post a video about that too. So it's a Chiappa 40DS. Apart from the trigger thing, I really like it a lot. Looks really sweet in person. Going to be looking for a 5-inch soon. So